Oh, I got a message right as I hit record. Oh man. So I was really hoping to get a bunch done today. I'm finally not feeling sick anymore. And I was able to get Aiden into daycare Monday through most of Thursday. But then about 3 o'clock yesterday, Thursday, I got a call from his daycare that he had woken up from his nap crying that his throat hurt and he was inconsolable and could I please come get him. So I went and got him and he was like, my throat hurts. But at the same time he was like playing when I came. So I brought him home and I think it's just nasal drainage, which basically all of us have been dealing with. I don't know if part of it's like a cold that won't go away, or pollen, or the sky was really orange a couple of days ago, like at evening time, and it looked really weird. But I looked up the pollen and the smoke count, and it said it was supposed to be clear, so it was not sunset orange. It was like wildfire smoke orange. So I don't know what was up with that, but so he's home today. I was woken up by him at like almost midnight, by him once again saying his throat hurt. So once again I gave him Tylenol because what else can I give him for his, Tylenol and ibuprofen? What else can I give him for his throat hurting, even if it's only nasal drainage? I do want to go to the pharmacy at some point and see if they have that like steroid nasal spray, but for kids, I don't know. A lot of the medicines, they don't have for kids. So, just, frustrating. Yesterday, I live streamed while I opened and set up my new 4K monitor that I ordered. This sucker, the Gigabyte M32 UC. It's not this big, it's like this big. I mean, it's still big, but so I was literally streaming on XSplit as I was doing it, and I was having issues where so I still have my 1080p the 920p over here, so that when I'm streaming I can have the game here and then like the chat room and stuff like that. And I was having issues with XSplit not scaling correctly. When I would drag it over here, it would fill up past the edges of the screen, so I couldn't, adjust anything. So that was a little frustrating, and I'm always nervous about making changes to my live stream presentations on stream on Twitch, because I have heinous female nipples in files on my computer, and only takes a split second of a heinous female nipple showing to get your account suspended. I know this from experience. It was only a week suspension, but it was literally the first time, and Twitch seems even more harsh than YouTube as far as getting suspended. Anyway, speaking of YouTube, so we just had a guy try to break into the FBI in Cincinnati, and apparently he had a rifle, but he also had a nail gun, and he was thinking that he could break through the bulletproof glass with a nail gun, because apparently that's what they say on YouTube, except that on YouTube they're talking about a super industrial version of a nail gun that's basically like a gun, but it shoots nails, not just like a normal nail gun. But shh, don't tell the gun that's and also, people were sharing clips of Steven Crowder basically encouraging people to invade and shoot up FBI buildings and stuff like that. And as always, these clips are all over YouTube, literally inciting violence, and they stay up. And Steven Crowder has a long history of inciting violence, being transphobic, encouraging hate mobs against, gay wonk, Carlos Mendez, I think his name is. He works for Vice. I don't know. It was a thing that happened a while ago, but and Crowder was encouraging his audience to harass Carlos, and Carlos contacted YouTube multiple times and was like, "This is targeted harassment," and YouTube was like, "It's fine. It doesn't violate." I think they eventually did take that one video down because enough public stink happened, but, you know, Steven Crowder remains on the platform spewing bullshit, and YouTube doesn't care. Meanwhile, I get my stuff banned for no reason. I have new people, basically all nudist men, but they get introduced to my content because other nudists link to it, and then they're like, it seems like you know, you're getting targeted because you're getting all these bans that nobody else gets. And I'm like, yes I am. So tired of dealing with that. I also have been dealing with a huge uptick in scam calls and emails and texts. I've gotten fake ones from PayPal, I've gotten fake ones from Amazon, I've gotten fake ones from, I think, Citibank, which I've like never used. I got a fake one from, I don't even remember, something else this morning. CVS. It was like, oh, we want to give you a coupon. Click here to take a survey. And like, for the most part, I can recognize when they're fake. The PayPal ones really freaked me out because it shows, like, I was getting the, oh, you've added an address one, you've added an email, added an address, and it was stuff I'd never heard of. And the emails look exactly like a PayPal email. And the from field lists PayPal service at paypal.com, which is the real email. So in all ways it looks legit, except that I don't click on anything in the email. I go to my PayPal directly and I log in and there's nothing about these accounts or whatever. So either the scammers have figured out a way to make it actually look like, you know, even clicking details or whatever in Gmail, make it look like it's coming from service at PayPal, or somehow, I don't know if maybe someone made a second PayPal account using my same email, which supposedly isn't supposed to be possible, but I don't know. I've forwarded these emails to phishing at PayPal and I haven't gotten more than a generic thanks for your submission response from them. So I don't know, but yesterday I actually started getting phone calls from people. I got 2 phone calls in a row from people alleging that they were calling from Amazon, but what seemed really fishy to me is that they called and they were like, what is your name, please? And I'm like, you're asking me my name? And they're like, yeah, we need it for security purposes. And I'm like, this sounds fake. If you're actually from Amazon, you need to email me from Amazon and either like ask me to call you or like warn me that you're going to call me, because just calling me out of the blue and then you ask me for my name just seems really sketchy. But yeah, I don't know. There was that thing where, you know, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, the weekend before last, I was out at that family picnic thing, work party family picnic thing, and I got a text, and I don't remember who the text was from. I think it was UPS or whatever, and I had literally just ordered all the parts for my new computer, and it was like, there's a problem with your order, and I almost never fall for these things, but I was just like out doing things, and I very stupidly put my name and my address in it, and I'm still like, and so I realized immediately that it was a scam after I'd already submitted it, and so I froze my credit, you know, and redid all my bank cards and everything like that. But I think that's why I'm getting a lot more spam. But it's just, it's so insidious because, you know, I'm pretty savvy, and for the 99% of the time I understand when it's a scam and I don't fall for it. But, you know, old people, tech savvy people, like, are gonna fall for this stuff all the time, and it's just very frustrating that there just doesn't really seem to be anything on the part of these companies or the government or anything to stop it and make it harder. And I mean, I know that like the government's going to be limited because so many of these phone calls and such come from foreign countries. I just feel like more could be done. You know, more pressure could be put on Amazon and stuff to stop this stuff. Anyway, so that's been really annoying. I'm just frustrated because, you know, Link goes back to school at the very end of this month. Thank God. But, you know, me and Matthew and the kids just, it's very rare to have a day when nobody is sick. And it's, you know, you look it up and it's like, it's going around with a lot of people. Like, a lot of people are just having back-to-back colds and everything like that. I don't think it's COVID. We've had COVID multiple times. We've all had all our shots that we're allowed to have. As soon as any other boosters are open up, like, you know, for AIDS or whatever, I'm going to get those. You know, if they come out with a 5th booster for me, I'll get it, because the virus is always changing, thanks to plague rats, you know, throwing their bodies on the altar of owning the libs. And it blows my mind when you see these plague rats that are like, oh, you're just a government sheep getting all the shots. It's like, yes, that's how science works. A virus with millions of, you know, hosts is going to keep evolving and becoming more and more resistant to vaccines, so you have to get a new one. Like, that's how science works. Oh no, this video's going to get banned in medical disinformation. Fucking YouTube, stop falling for fucking haters. God damn. Anyway, I still love that one video that was literally just me describing a conversation I had with a Trumper throwing a cigarette butt on the ground, and they banned the video. YouTube banned the video as medical disinformation. And I didn't even mention, like, I think the only mention of COVID was, like, that the trampoline park was really crowded, and so I can't imagine bringing a kid in there that's not vaccinated, especially since this was, like, months ago. And so they banned it as medical disinformation. Anyway, yes, I'm frustrated because Link's still home because he's off school, and Aiden's home because his throat hurt, and they don't, you know, if your kid goes home sick one day, they don't want you to bring him back the next day. Luckily, it's only Friday. I don't know. Hopefully the throat hurting thing stops over the weekend, but, like, we've just been sick off and on since the mask mandates dropped. Oh, it's funny. I mean, I'm talking about COVID anyway. This video is going to get taken down as, you know, medical disinformation regardless. So, CDC apparently just was like, oh, you don't have to be 6 foot apart anymore. And also, you know, you don't need to isolate just from exposure, only if you're showing symptoms. And I kind of stopped listening to the CDC when they first were like, oh, you don't need masks anymore. Because it was like, the virus is still everywhere. Like, you know, we still have 500 people dying of it a day in the US. And I mean, I'm sure most of them are, you know, Trump or anti-vaxxers, in which case you can lead a horse to water. But still, you know, everyone's pretending like it's not a thing anymore. But yeah, I just, since the CDC was like, you don't need masks anymore, I'm like, you're trying to play politics with the plague rats. You're trying to, like, encourage people to get vaccinated by saying, like, oh, once you get vaccinated, then you don't have to take any precautions, which is really dumb. Because the vaccine the promise has never been, if you get vaccinated, it's impossible for you to get COVID. The promise has always been, if you get vaccinated, then it's very unlikely that you will die of COVID. It's very unlikely that you will get, you know, severe symptoms. It does still happen. And of course, there's some people who legitimately can't get the vaccine because they have some other medical thing going on where, you know, vaccines literally are harmful to them. But the vast majority of people are not harmed by vaccines and, in fact, are helped. So, yeah, I don't know. As always, I remain, you know, tapped into the political news and whatnot, aka addicted to doom scrolling Twitter. Things are looking, I don't know if I want to say positive, but slightly less terrible these days. I'm very suspicious of it because Trump et al. Have done so many heinous things for so many years, and nothing has ever stuck. I mean, the Trump org, you know, got shut down for stealing money from literally cancer charities and all this other stuff. But, you know, like his realty business or whatever has never been touched significantly. And so, you know, people being like, oh, this is going to take him down, you know, him stealing nuclear secrets. And just putting it in an unlocked room at Mar-a-Lago. This is going to be what takes him down. Yeah, we'll see. And I mean, like, even with Alex Jones, you know, that trial, one of the trials has just happened, and they said that he was going to have to pay $50 million. But I watched a Legal Eagle video last night, who is this channel that breaks down legalese, you know, lawyer talk or whatever, but in a more accessible way. And he was saying that because of Texas law or whatever, it's actually going to get pared down to like nothing, under $1 million or whatever. And there's other trials coming up for Alex Jones, but I think the most significant thing from the Alex Jones, or the thing that gives me hope, is that there was the accidental sharing of every text message and phone call he's made in the last 2 years to the Sandy Hook lawyer. And he either is about to, or he already turned it over to the January 6th Commission. That'll be interesting, because Alex Jones was one of the people, you know, involved in the planning and the execution and everything of January 6th. And, you know, maybe there'll be some actual consequences. I am just not going to hold my breath. And as far as the Inflation Reduction Act that finally passed, like, I'm torn between trying to be like, yay, it passed, see, Dems can get stuff done, vote for Dems, but at the same time, like, it's so much smaller than what it was originally proposed. Like, Bernie wanted like 3.5 at the beginning, trillion, and then the one that passed was like 400 billion, which is like not even half of a trillion, but and I mean, like, billions to like an average person is an enormous amount of money, but when you're talking about like countrywide things, it's really not that much. And especially since you've got multiple things like the insulin cap, which Republicans managed to make not affect private insurance, only the Medicare itself insurance, and like a lot of people they go with Medicare Advantage, which is not actually Medicare. It's private plans that somehow are able to use the name Medicare Advantage. And so again, it's like with the spammy text messages, like a lot of people, a lot of older people, a lot of tech. I can hear my dad yelling at Link. Gotta go downstairs soon and rescue him from the fucking kids. Anyway, they're worse when they're both home. Like, when it's just one, I can mostly convince them to just watch crap TV. I don't like them watching crap TV, but, like, that's what they always go back to. I'll be like, go on Disney, go on whatever. As soon as I leave the room, they go back to crap TV. Sorry, they're yelling downstairs. Yeah. Alright, anyway, last thing to say as Aiden cries because Link kicked him or some shit. I went to the first PTA meeting yesterday, and it was just me, the president, and the secretary. Basically, all three of us, none of us wanted to be in these positions, but literally the whole PTA last year had like no one in it. It was more teachers than parents. And a big part of that is that they didn't let people know about it a lot. You know, you need to have like flashing neon signs to get people's attention. Even then they, you know, don't look up from their phone. But, and so they were like, we need to have a president or we can't have a PTA. And so the three of us were like, and then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, we get an email, you know, mass email that's like, congrats to our new, oh wait, sorry, someone else was the treasurer, I'm the secretary. They're like, congrats to our new secretary, Cleo, and I'm like, I don't wanna, but it was kind of fun because, I had proposed that we meet at a park, because we had our kids, and so Matthew actually came, which I was surprised, about, which was nice, because he helped kind of try to keep the kids away from me. Of course, you know, there's the playground and then there's the tables, and I'm sitting there at the table and both of my kids keep coming over to harass me, and it's like, there's a playground right there, why do you have to harass me? Go play in the playground. But it was, yeah, it was fun talking to the two. One is a woman, a white woman that's a lot like me, very talkative, blah blah blah, and then the other one is a quiet Latina woman. And both of, you know, the white woman and I were like, okay, we're very excited, what do you think? And then, you know, we'd like ask her, like, how do we, you know, what can we do to make these events more diverse and multilingual and everything like that? Because it's like, you know, there might be, there's, you know, as in all places in the US, there's a large percentage of Latino parents and people and everything, and like we don't want them to feel discouraged to come to the PTA, so it's like, how do we, you know, make it more accessible? But now that I'm in charge, I could have been president also, but I didn't want to be like at the helm. Anyway, now that we're in charge, we can basically like make things happen that I was suggesting, like having the kids come home with a piece of paper saying, hey, there's a PTA meeting or whatever. And also like having refreshments at the PTA meeting, so it's not just show up and have someone say really boring stuff to you for an hour. And also having like play dates and stuff that aren't meetings, that it's like, yes, most of the people there, you know, on the PTA or whatever, but it's not a meeting, it's a let's chat about whatever, which, you know, the thing I went to yesterday with the two other ladies basically was like half like what do we do with the PTA and half like going on about like our kids and our lives and stuff, you know, talking a little bit about bullying or whatever. So it was nice. I mean, it was a little energizing. It was just also frustrating that like none of us really wanted the positions, but it's just we were guilt tripped into it. So yeah, we'll do our best. I already went through a lot of that in college when I founded a video game club, and it was basically supposed to be like show up and play video games together, but you had to go to like the student association meetings and stuff like that, and I always ended up having to do all of that shit, whereas everyone else would just show up and play games. I couldn't get a single one of them to help me with any of the, you know, legislative stuff, and it was just very frustrating. So I've already been down that road. At least the PTA is, you know, adults and maybe slightly less likely to be like that, but yeah. All right. So anyway, I guess today I'm just gonna fold laundry and stuff like that. I keep fantasizing about when Link is back in school, for the days that Aiden is not sick, so he can go to daycare, you know, so that neither kid is home for, you know, 6 hours, during the day, that I want to basically live stream like all the time. Doing like the most mundane things, like, you know, I have to fold laundry today, and it's like I could have the camera set up and like have people call in and we could like have conversations as I'm folding the laundry. One, so that it's like more social for me, and two, so I'm making content, which, you know, that's what we do here in Topless Topics. We shoot the shit. We talk about whatever. You know, some videos are obviously, I try to make them more polished than others. Like, I want to do more interviews. I already have interviews I haven't edited yet because I can't get a fucking day where neither kid is home. And also, now that Joystick is out, which is, you know, Plexstorm's replacement, except that they're trying to do stuff better than Plexstorm, and like a lot of the people who are behind Joystick, we're on Plexstorm, so, you know, lessons learned. I have a live stream platform that allows female nipples. They also allow full-on porn, because those are the only options for me. The only place I can stream female nipples are places that allow full-on porn. But at least, you know, I can like live stream while I edit videos that are just me. They're very like, you can't show anyone that's not, you know, you have to like have them file a whole like release thing through Joystick. So even like my husband or my dad, you know, if they come on screen, I have to like have them pre-approved as, you know, people to join my thing or whatever. Now for interviews, I might be able to, for future interviews, I can maybe, you know, have them sign this thing as part of it. But it's not just like a single signature. It's like they have to go to the Joystick website and fill out this whole form. So I don't know, for people like Philosophy Tube and stuff, when I eventually make those interviews happen, I don't want to like make them have to do that. So videos like that, I probably can't live stream while I edit them. But as long as it's just me and possibly like casual people that, you know, are part of the Topless Topics community or something like that, maybe can sign this thing so I can edit it during the stream. But I mean, there's not a lot of editing that goes into most of the interviews. About the most exciting thing I'll do is if I do record audio on my nice mic, and then like the Zencaster thing using my webcam mic, because I like to have as many backup devices as I can. Link is coming upstairs. I just can't get away from the kid. Yeah. All right. So anyway, praying that Link goes back to school, Aiden goes back to daycare, and I have like at least a day a week where I don't have, you know, either kid home harassing me. Saturdays are going to continue to be, you know, my gaming Twitch streams or art, you know, whatever I feel like doing on that Saturday. And those will always be free. I'm thinking that during the week, you know, behind the scenes live streams or whatever, I might make subscriber only on Joystick just so I can make the tiniest bit of money to like pay for the new computer and, you know, web hosting. Like God forbid I get any money for all the hours of work I put into this stuff, but, you know, just purely like paying for real world stuff that I have to physically have to pay for. Because of course, you know, like Stripe banned me from having an account with them because I have female nipples anywhere on the internet, even if I only use them to sell like t-shirts with a text only phrase on them. Stripe already won't let me have an account because, again, I have female nipples anywhere on the internet. If you want to know the details of that, it's at toptopicstv.org/FKStripe, as in fuck stripe, but FK Stripe, STRIPE. And then, you know, have issues with Patreon being like, oh, you're selling porn. Like, I do have a Patreon, but it's like I have to be very careful, like, how I put anything on there. And I'm banned from monetization on YouTube when my videos aren't banned entirely anyway. Yeah, basically I have no way to make, you know, I can't do any of the traditional methods to make any money, so I'm thinking of making the behind the scenes live streams subscriber only. And Joystick just introduced a way to gift subscriptions, so I could do that for like Patreon members and or promosquad members, which you can find out about toptopicstv.org/promosquad, PROMOSQUAD, which, if you haven't heard, is basically just you get points for engagement with my social media presence. So, you know, a like on Twitter will be like 1 point, a retweet will be like 2 points. An original post where you don't just link to my content, but you actually make your own new post that links to my content rather than just retweet or share my content. Because again, if you share my content, it's going to be censored because my entire accounts are censored. And also, if my account gets deleted or that tweet gets deleted, then the whole post goes down. But if you make your own original post, then that post can stay up until it's individually banned. So an original post, which if you don't know how to do that, I made a detailed guide at toptopicstv.org/how-to-help. No spaces. Anyway, I apologize for those of you who've been watching my videos and everything for a while and have heard me say all this stuff over and over. I also get nauseated having to repeat it over and over. But the thing is, because I'm shadow banned and everything like that, my content rarely shows up in people's timelines, especially if you don't engage with my content a lot, because the website algorithms are literally specifically like on Facebook and stuff like that. And I fucking hate Facebook. And that's one of the issues with PTA is that like all the adults all the parents and stuff only use Facebook. Is if you don't regularly like look at and click on and reply and comment and everything on my posts, Facebook will be like, oh, I guess this isn't very important to this person. We're never going to show it on the timeline. So that's another benefit of engaging with my content more, is if you actually do like my content and you want to see it more often, the more you engage with it, the more likely it'll actually show up in your timeline and stuff. So anyway, point being that if you take part in the promo squad and you want to see my behind the scenes videos, then, you know, you'll get free access. Literally all I have to do is make social media posts about my content. It's 10 seconds a day. But yeah, alright, so I gotta go downstairs, save my dad from the kids, not live stream, because the kids will fucking walk on screen naked, because I can't get them to stay clothed, and I'd have to stop constantly anyway to, like, make them food or whatever. Was woken up this morning by the kids scooping out handfuls of peanut butter and giving it to the dogs. I want to buy a bunch of lock boxes and put them around the house and put like all the scissors and everything in there. But the thing is that the kids always go for something new. Aiden smashed the TV that's been in their room since before they were born. All of a sudden, Aiden decided to take a bubble one and smash the TV, and now they keep going, can you fix the TV? And I'm like, ha, that TV's fucked. You guys don't get a TV in your room anymore. So now they're always using up the living room TV. Anyway, blah, 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 first world problems. Fingers crossed, Link goes to school, Aiden goes to daycare, I can actually get some work done. Fingers crossed that this is the straw that broke the camel's back, and maybe there's actual some final fucking consequences against Trump and his goons. It won't affect Trump voters because they've been well trained to reject anything that goes against their leader as fake news. And hopefully the climate change provisions in the Inflation Act, whatever, the BBB light, extremely light, the BBB Micro, at least gets the ball rolling on the tiniest bits of climate change mitigation. It's obviously too late to stop, but at least keep the planet livable a little bit longer. Of course, they added parts to keep Joe Manchin happy, where they opened up new oil drilling areas. If you want Dems to be able to actually do shit, you have to put more, we have to keep the House. Oh, fucking dad yelling at the kids. We have to keep the House, and we have to get more than a 50-50 split in the Senate. If we can get even like 2 more senators so we can make Sinema and Manchin obsolete, we can vote to abolish the filibuster, then we can actually get some fucking shit done. I understand that it's frustrating that, those of you who haven't not voted or voted through party, those of you who held your tongue or held your bile and voted for a Dem, even though you're like, why, the parties are the same, and you're like, why haven't the Dems done more? It's because we're beholden to fucking dinos like Manchin and Sinema, who won't let us do, Sinema wouldn't let us do the carryover tax thing that puts a minor tax on something billionaires do. I can't remember what the specifics are or whatever. Or, not allowing insulin caps and stuff like that. If you want us to be able to actually get stuff done, we have to have a majority, an actual majority. Fuck Manchinima, and the centrist Dems that are hiding behind them too. There's a single anti-abortion centrist slight right Dem in there or whatever. We have to get a majority. So I understand your frustration. I understand that you partake in certain memes enough that you think the parties are the same. They're not. The way to solve that is we have to get way more Dems in Congress, and then yell at them to do their fucking jobs. Don't just vote and then be like, well, we solved everything. You still gotta be on that outrage machine and force them to do good. Vote for progressives if you want actual change. Don't vote for establishment Dems who already have a record of kowtowing to Republicans. Vote for progressives and encourage your friends to vote. Don't bother with Trumpers. Don't bother with the Trumpers in your life because they're in a cult. They will never change their vote. But disillusioned people, non-voters, third-party voters or whatever, like I said, as much as you can, try to encourage them. Not voting or wasting your vote on someone who's never going to win is not going to make things better. The only way you make things better is to vote for actual, progressive Dems who care about, fucking pearl clutching over Beto replying to some fucking piece of shit who started laughing at him talking about the kids murdered in Uvalde. And so Beto turns to him and says, it's funny to you, motherfucker, but it's not funny to me, or, something similar to that. And of course you got all the Republicans be like, oh my God, I can't believe he said motherfucker. It's let's focus on the fucking piece of shit who was laughing about kids getting murdered. No doubt the one that was laughing is an Alex Jones devotee type who's like, oh, it's all crisis actors. But yes, cuss out people who think that children being murdered by gun violence is fine and hilarious, and is the price of freedom. But meanwhile, masks are tyranny. All right, yeah, I'm gonna shut up. This video is for sure gonna get banned, so enjoy it while you can. And go to the topsubs.org/promosquad. Share, retweet, make original posts, help Topless Topics get around the constant censor, shadow banning. Hold tight for behind the scenes live streams on Joystick. Subscribe to the newsletter, which I haven't written last month. I have so much on my plate, okay? I have so much on my plate, and I'm still doing it all by myself because I can't find a social media manager. I can't, for some reason, I don't know what website or whatever to go to find a person who actually has experience as a content creator, social media manager. Like, I go to Fiverr or whatever, and I get overwhelmed in bots who don't have any actual experience. So if you are or know of a social media manager who, isn't like corporate level that I could never fucking afford, let me know. Comment on it, or, tweet at me at toptopicstv or something, so I can try contacting them and see if there's anything in the realm of possibility if I do the subscription, behind the scenes and stuff like that, so that I actually have money of hiring them. Does my brand new... Oh, okay. I thought my brand new 4K monitor had like a chip in the screen. I was about to be very mad. But it was just like dirt or something. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go. Bye.